Masterverse New Eternia Snout Spout is now going to be listed on sale at Mattel Creations this Tuesday. But right now, the website is currently saying only customers in the United States can buy it. This figure, John, was really arguably, from what I've seen, the most anticipated Masterverse figure out of all the figures shown at the San Diego Comic-Con 2023. And there were a lot. People were going crazy about this Snout Spout. He looked awesome. He was oversized, right? And
Yeah.
people flip out for those new Eternia figures anyway. If we get to Tuesday and only the US collectors can go in and buy this, man, I just feel horrible. This isn't the 1980s, where we had those dividing lines in our nations. And this is really like a global economy. And this is really a global fandom at this point. And to cut off everyone except the United States and giving them an inability to purchase this. Basically, we're talking about how expensive it is to be a collector, right? It's already expensive for them as it is because they pay extra shipping rates. They sometimes pay those tariffs and those duties, to get them in their country. And Zor forbid if they got to pay like on eBay or, a reseller, where they pay inflated prices twice, 3 times, 4 times just to get a figure. So if they can't get this figure through Mattel Creations, so many of them are just going to be priced out and they're not going to be able to get it at all. And it's really unfortunate. I really feel bad for these collectors that want to, they want to participate. This fandom, I was saying before, this fandom, has a lot of things going for it, including our passion. But, our strength with Masters of the Universe over so many other brands is our numbers, I think over G.I. Joe, over Thundercats. I mean, I'm a big fan of Thundercats too, but I think Masters of the Universe, the fandom is just so much larger. So to cut off such a portion of them, it just kind of like breaks my heart. I really think they should actually provide some sort of opportunity. And to be honest with you, I really think they should just hold off providing Snout Spout. If it stays true on this website and it's only offered to United States collectors on Tuesday, they should either hold off from selling it on Tuesday until they can internationally ship, or you know what? Estimate how many usually go to international customers to begin with, and then put those aside. And then later have an offer for international customers only, none in the United States, so they can get that figure too. Because otherwise it's not really fair and it's so stressful. And this is supposed to be a hobby that's supposed to reduce our stress, right? Life is tough as it is. Our jobs, sometimes our families, and usually we resort to our hobby to relieve stress, not to create more stress.
I agree, and I think it's crazy. And I want to say there was something going on with the cats there too. That was like something with the international ordering or through Canada, but they were able to kind of rectify that, through the crowdfunding. I think they were able to kind of get that all worked out. And I agree with that. I mean, as far as if you can't offer it to everybody on Tuesday, then you should just hold off and figure out, whatever the problem is, whether it's the shipping or what. I mean, in my mind, I mean, I can kind of understand Eternia, that them kind of figuring out, okay, we're kind of goof this up a little bit, and we got to kind of reevaluate how we're going to get these things overseas. But I mean, for these figures, I don't understand why they can't follow the same model they've been doing for, just like these other exclusives like Godlin and Vicor. I mean, just all these, all these different, exclusives that have gone out to overseas. And like you said, I mean, international, I know there's a ton. I mean, UK is probably as big, or in Germany as well. I mean, as far as Motu communities, I
Mhm.
mean, there's tons of people on my page that I'm cool with that are from the UK, and that, and, have a legitimate gripe when they say, oh, I mean, you got him already? Like, I can't get him over here, this and that. And I know some people, it took forever to get King Grayskull out there. I mean, the Masterverse person. I mean, it was crazy. Like I mean, I posted a picture of him, and they're like, "Oh man, I still can't get him over here." And there's like 10 of them at a Target right now, but it's like they can't get nothing in the overseas in the UK. So I don't know. I agree with you there, man. They should, if they can't figure it out, then maybe just hold off. I know for me it'd be a little bit, I kind of agree with that though, because it's like, for $33, and then seeing that Bret Hart, the Hart Foundation 2-pack that's coming out later in the week from Mattel Creations, I kind of like, I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's like they're really gonna go for my wallet this coming week. I'm kind of dreading that, but so if they would decide to hold off on Snout Spout, like I'd be all for that. Just kind of let me kind of take it easy on my wallet, but. No,
Yeah.
definitely for those international fans, they definitely need to get their hands on this guy. Even though it's kind of funny because I did have Snout Spout, as a kid, had the water feature, had all that, cool stuff. Um, I actually put ink dye in it one time, and I sprayed at my dad, and he kind of got upset. So, because he had a white, he was dressed for work, and I just like went up there and started shooting it, and he just like, it's like what the, he just got so mad, but he always was kind of like a. How many appearances did he just have? One appearance in Filmation, or
I think it was in. I don't think he appeared in He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, but he did appear in the Christmas special and in She-Ra.
Mm,
So yes,
okay.
Filmation, but I don't believe in the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe series. So just a Christmas special and She-Ra itself. But he is a great looking figure. You know what? Let me
Yeah.
try to bring this up, and if I have to
And
cut
and
this
that's the
out,
thing. I
go
mean,
ahead.
and that's the funny thing. It's just like, kind of going into toy photography. I mean, you see him at San Diego Comic Con, and he's like, "Oh man, it looks great." It's Masterverse type figures, a new one, and one that we kind of were chatting about, like where's Snout Spout? As you see the waves being released, and you kind of see the promotions for them, it's like where's Snout Spout? Where's Snout Spout? And then finally, okay, oh, he's gonna be exclusive, and then you see the images, you see the toy photography images, whoever they got from Mattel doing their photography. To me, I mean, that's the selling point. I see those images as a photographer, as somebody who likes to do this as a hobby, and I see those photos. I'm like, okay, you just sold me on getting this figure. I was kind of on the fence, because again, he was kind of a goofy character, and like maybe I can not get him. I mean, I'm probably like 96, 97% all Masterverse. There's a couple of ones I miss. I'm not like you, AJ. I don't got every single one. There's a couple that I'm missing. Just one or two of them. But I'm thinking I could probably pass on them. But
I,
I'm just like seeing those photos. I was sold. I was sold like completely.
I'm like on the fence. What are you talking about? I'm thinking to myself. I'm screaming to myself. All right, let me see if I can share the For Eternia website here. I don't even know how you could be on the fence of this one, sir. How dare you?
Well, I mean, look at those pictures. That
First,
sold it.
first,
That
John, I'm
sold it.
offended because you're against firefighters. Do you realize Snout Spout is a firefighter? How dare you not support your local firefighters?
Was
Um,
that the is that the For Etern or is that the new Eternia bio? Because I know you and Jay were kind of talking about that last show because they changed Mecha Neck to a submariner and stuff like
no,
that.
that,
So
that that's
that's
that's from
always
his,
been him.
yeah, that's from his original lore, my friend. He was a firefighter. Um, so he look at this. Now, you know what the one thing, look at those eyes, right? And maybe you can help understand. So for anyone listening at home, Snout Spout has these lit eyes that seem to glow yellow. And it mentions something about this, and but I'm not sure the phrase and what that exactly means. Oh, figure has special water blast effect. I get that. It's going to be this little blue water effect that you probably can attach to the trunk and
Mhm.
light pipped eyes. What does that mean? Light
I s-
pipped
yeah,
eyes.
I saw that and I was just like, maybe by flashing a light on there and then maybe they get some sort of glow or something. I'm not sure. I mean, when I first saw the pictures, I thought, oh, well, that's just Photoshop. That's kind of just some added effects in there. But then I read that and I was like, okay,
Hmm.
that'll be interesting. I mean, if what he looks like in the pictures, if that's what is you're gonna have in your hand, then that's pretty cool. So you were kind of wondering about you, kind of the little effect I would do on my photos for web store. You were kind of like, oh man, it's like I want kind of glowy eyes, and you mentioned that in your review of it, of web store. You wanted him to have kind of glowy red eyes for him.
Yeah.
So if they do something like that, I mean, that's doesn't show it there, and yeah, right there, it's like, yeah, he's going unless there's a switch on the back of his head. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, oh, I would love if there's a switch on the back of his head, but maybe there's a
Yeah.
hole in the back of the head where you have to sort of direct the light. Be honest with you, the lighting in that picture there looks like it's photoshopped, you know? It looks
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's a little creativity going on there, but, look at that axe. Come on, Sean, you need this. Come on.
That's
What
cool
else?
with the other handle right there, because then you can kinda get him in a pose where he's just, like, holding it, like, double fisted like that, and he could just, like, come down.
Mm.
But it does say that he's 8 inches tall, so I'm gonna have to put it on his knees just like I did with, Too Bad in my display case. I mean
Really?
I
Does your
mean
your display case doesn't go that high?
no, no, I mean, I could probably make it that high, but I like to for me, it's my OCD, I like to have everything even. So everything is like
Oh.
and so I can fit as, a couple figures in there because if I try and get it all kinda, varied for different sizes. So, yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, Too Bad back there, they're having to be on their knees and this guy's gonna have to and he's pretty wide too, I think what they say with I guess with the ears. So
Yeah, look at this thing here though. Points of articulation 30, 2 in the body and 5 in the snout. So there's
that's
5
cool.
articulation points in the snout, which is cool. Yeah.
Kinda
So,
like Mechanic, yeah, it can have a little that little articulate effect. That's really cool.
yeah. I can't wait. So, and this is what I mean. This is what I'm sitting here licking my chops, and then international fans right now are nervous that they're not even going to be able to get a chance at this one. Someone had inquired. Yeah, Talis 76 Photography on Twitter reach out to Mattel Creations today. They let me share their email response when they were, looking for clarification like, "Hey, I'm in Canada. Can I get this? Why can't I get this?" And Mattel Consumer Support says, "Thank you for reaching out. I apologize, but we are unable to accept international orders for most items at this time. Regrettably, we are unable to provide an exact date when it will be fixed. Products available to
Mm,
ship outside the US and countries eligible for purchase will be noted on each product page. I understand your disappointment that we are not able to ship to you at this time, and I apologize for the inconvenience. We are actively working on this and will update our website as soon as we have resolved the issue." So I don't know. It doesn't sound like necessarily it's going to be fixed or Snout Spout. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but it doesn't necessarily feel that way. And people are unhappy. Well, that's
yeah.
crappy. I hope they're looking at these comments. I really hope they sort this out. Jonathan says this is a very poor look for Mattel. Why not delay the order date until all of this
Yeah.
is sorted out? Yep, that's what I was saying. Yeah. So
I mean, at the
it's
least, what they I mean, like you mentioned also, I mean, maybe set aside some stock where, okay, we can't ship international now, but maybe in a couple of weeks when we get this worked out, okay, here's a set, that we can ship out internationally for, people overseas. So